This place was home. I was born here in this place. I love it. To us, we could run anywhere and everywhere, looking at things that we hadn't seen before. It's the best place on earth.
The Blue Mountains are an incredible place. Got this sort of extreme topography right on Sydney's doorstep. We've got this huge area of dissected sandstone plateaus which form the World Heritage Area, which are covered in a variety of vegetation types. And a lot of it is really inaccessible, and it gives rise to plant communities being able to persist where they might otherwise not be able to. So we've got these dry sclerophyll forests, which are dominated by eucalypts, growing over very large areas of the terrain across the ridge tops and the slopes. In amongst that, in the really rocky areas, we can have sort of heathlands growing on those rocks, or even areas where there's just exposed rock with little islands of vegetation, which we're particularly interested in terms of fire for this study. It's those places in the landscape which are isolated from fire effects, where plants might exist that are able to persist in areas where they're not otherwise able to. And likewise, down in these deeper gullies where there's higher moisture and deeper soils, we've got much taller forests growing. So these wet sclerophyll forests and even rainforests where there's enough sheltering.
Our project is trying to find those locations where species can persist and have persisted in the past, those refugial places away from drought and fire, taking on different perspectives. This idea of refugia is a really scientific concept, but our traditional owner research partners in this project might think of these places as special places in the landscape that are important to them for different reasons, different cultural reasons than we might see as scientists. And for me, that's where the excitement lies in working with our traditional owners.
I'd like to see more of the berries growing, all the bush tucker. There's not many berries around, if you noticed, that we used to eat and pick. I'd like to regenerate some more of that. I'd like to bring more kangaroos in the area, the little insects. Insects are important for aerating the ground, and they can clean the soils, and as well as pollinate the trees. So I think we all forget about the little creatures.
The Blue Mountains area was extensively burned in the Black Summer bushfires of 2019-2020. These fires were unprecedented in scale across southern Australia. There was more than 10 million hectares of land which were burnt, and within the Blue Mountains, 80% of the World Heritage Area was burned.
We are mapping out after the devastating fires in 2019, so we're trying to map out the ecological systems and the plants and the damage that the fires have done, because not all, like most Australian plants, are very adaptable to our droughts and our fires, but we do have very sensitive, smaller fauna that isn't as adaptable to the fire.
We're working with our partnerships that we're forming to get out on country where possible, but also to spend time doing things digitally as well. So looking together at the mapping that we have created.
We're hoping that the people that go out and do that sort of thing, that's why I like taking photos, because then I can look at them too, and I can study them. And I can say, did you pick up on that one? Did you know about that? You know, and then they look at it.
In my view, it's simply not possible to apply the right fire in terms of fire management to these places unless we know what is growing in those places. And there's some plant species and plant assemblages in these places that would certainly be intolerant of fire if fire became something that was more frequent in those areas.
We know that traditional owners have set cool, slow-moving burns into the landscape over millennia, and that these have really helped shape the vegetation as well.
Not much cultural burnings happening. We used to use the leaves, the sticks that used to fall on the ground. We'd be using that for cooking and heating. Even your ancestors would have been using it for cooking and eating. And we've basically taken the man out of the circle of life. So we're no longer looking after the land. We're no longer moving around the land anymore. Part of climate change is living in one with the land. You can't remodel it to suit yourself. You've got to live in one with it as it changes, as it evolves. Drought, floods, more heat, more cold. So you have to adapt with the country you're living in.
What I love about working in the Greater Blue Mountains World Heritage Area is that it's essentially a never-ending quest for a scientist. The diversity of landscapes throughout this region provides never-ending questions to us as researchers.
The ecosystem, regenerating and fixing up the ecosystem, it's really, really valuable to us. If we don't look after the country and the land, it won't look after us. So it's very important that we do look after the land and it will look after us.
What do I love about working here? Look at it. Just look at it. It's absolutely amazing. It's beautiful.